Hello, my name's Tristan from Zebra Invest, and today I want to run through a couple different ways that you can go out there and find properties that have been repossessed and are now being advertised for market for sale online. I've got two ways of doing this. We're going to go through one, going through in a hard way, the manual kind of way of looking through, taking a look through photos to work out which properties may have been repossessed. And then we're also then going to have a look at a way that you can do it a lot quicker, which if you've ever watched any other videos on YouTube here, you'll see that I use a piece of software to kind of quickly whip through and get through it. So I'm also going to share with you a few little hints and tips that you can use on Zoopla to be able to go through and find these deals yourself. So you don't necessarily have to have the software to do it. It just makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you what we're up to. So I did a little search earlier on the piece of software that I'll show you that comes up with just a list of all the properties that have been repossessed in the area. Where in the market across the country at the moment is quite hot, there's more demand than there is supply, and there isn't that many repossessed properties out there. And that also comes along lines with the fact that there aren't any Section 8, Section 13 notices being submitted, and so it's really hard at the moment as well for banks to be able to go back through and also repossess properties. So there's a few less than you probably usually find, but still I'll jump in and show you what you can do and how you can look for them and how you find them. So, as I said, there's two ways that you can do it. You've either got the main way, the long way, and the way that I originally used to do this, which is through Zoopla. And the reason I say Zoopla rather than on the market or Rightmove is it allows you to keyword search. So you can set up your area that you're looking in, and then you can use a variety of keywords to then hunt through those to find deals in your local area. The other way of doing it, which is a much easier way, is using the sourcing system on PropertyData, which will then go in, it shows you all the properties in your area, and you can just quickly have a look through and do it like that. I also have done another video about gazumping, and this really works actually quite well with repossessed properties as well. So I'll just jump on to the next one and just explain what we're going to be looking for when we're on Zoopla. So we're going to have a look through, sometimes you can just see it in the photos, so it's going to be like tapes that says something like this hasn't been tested. There's little warning signs on it. You'll get like an advert in the description say like public notice, and usually if an offer has already been made, then you'll have a little note that says the offer amount that has been made for that property. So what I'll do now is I'll just jump over and I'll show you on to Zoopla. So as I'm based in Norwich, but I'll just give you an idea just to show you in London how this would work. And you can do this anywhere in the country. But you want to do a fairly generic search, so that's going to pull up all the properties that are going on. And then what you've got here is you can see, look, 10,000 plus results, which is crazy. But what we're going to do is we're going to click filters, and then we can come down here, and on the keyword section here, we're going to use a selection of keywords. So you can use here in each line, this is the kind of search that you would use. And these are words that they have to kind of place inside these adverts to show that it is a repossessed property and that they have received an offer. So the first one you can see at the top there is public notice. So what you do is you simply use inverted, you use speech marks around each side of it to make sure it limits it just to that search, which is public notice. And you can see I've already done that here before. And what we're going to do is we're just going to click update results. And this now limits it down to just those properties where they've got a notice on them. So you can see here, I'll open a couple of these. It's not letting me right click anymore. But you can see here, nice enough property. When you come down, it's going to say here, description of the property, 80 years, and it says, it should say public notice somewhere. Oddly, it doesn't. And so we've just stipulated that's the only thing that would come up. And then, I mean, there was actually a little hint there that I hadn't noticed before. On this one, it said, look, our client has stipulated the property remain on the market until exchange of contracts, which is likely to suggest that that is a repossessed property. The next one is, you come down here, we've got another property coming up. And hopefully, here you go, we're on receipt of an offer of £750,000 for this property. It's the public notice, and that instantly shows that that property is going to be repossessed. And then what you can then do is when you click to look through the photos, the other thing you might notice, as I kind of mentioned in my PowerPoint slide, is warning notices. And obviously the offer amount of public notice have come up. So what we should do is we should see, as we go through these photos, beautiful building, you should usually see, and you can see it just here in this photo. If I can just open that image in tab, But you can see there, look, on that toilet, it's all taped up. And that's going to be taped up because it wouldn't have been tested. So they basically try to limit their liability. So when you come through, you can see here, again in the kitchen, I'm not sure if you can just see that on this photo here. Again, what you've got on the kitchen, on the hob and the oven there, it says do not use, hasn't been tested. And again on the tap, do not use, not tested. And these are all things that are really good pointers to be able to work out which one's a which and which one's a property like this. I'll see if there's anything else with it on. Doesn't seem to be anyone here. Look, you can see there you go, do not use, all wrapped around water toilets and various other bits. And that kind of gives you an idea for what's going on. And you can go through and you can repeat that process. And what you can do, if you then want to change your search to change what you're including, so I did public notice, you can then put received an offer. You do received an offer. And then this way, you're now only going to find any of the properties, any other ones that might come up that are similar. Again, here you go, look, you've got this one, looks like an absolute state. And you see all that tape on the boiler, tape on the taps, tape all over the place. So you can see this is definitely going to be a repossessed property. Looks like one that could do with a bit more of a refurb. But to be fair, that's what's good for if you can get a property that you can add do a bit of work to it. 428, we're acting as we've received an offer of 428,000. And there you can see any offers must be sent to us. So that's a repossessed property. So there you go. That's how you can do it yourself. That's a long way round. You can go through all of those yourself. The reason I suggest using Zoopla over Rightmove or anywhere else is if you have a look on here and we do the same thing again. Say, for example, this time we go to Norwich, where I'm based. You can do this. And then what you do instead is you add a keyword. So it prioritizes, which means it doesn't have to have that keyword in. So if you turn and do the same again, public notice, I'm going to press enter, there's one keyword. Then here you go, it says, in this case, it says no matching keywords. And then I wonder whether or not this has got one up here. Again, I don't think this even has it, public. No, doesn't even have the keyword in. So when you're using Zoopla or Rightmove, it's harder for it. Again, on the market, if you go to the same thing, I just typed that in incorrectly, and so we do the same search. I haven't found it before, and if anyone knows how to, let me know. But I haven't worked out if there's a way that you can add filters for keywords. So you've got here, you can obviously do your filter down and choose whatever else, but you can't filter by repossessed. So that's why something like PropertyData, which is I was going to say next. So what's the easy way? Using PropertyData. So you can use the sourcing section, set the area, and simply look through all the opportunities nearby. So when we're on this website, you can see here, you can see what's going on. I log in personally. If you are interested in using it, at the end of the video, I will give you a link. It will give you a 14-day free trial and 50% off your first month. So you're pretty much getting the first month for free. There's 3 plans that you can use on it, and you've got a basic, pro, and max. Personally, I have the max plan because I do a lot of searching. I do a lot of looking around and look at lots of trying to find deals to then invest with my business. But otherwise, if you're just getting started and you don't want it just to lock out, then probably the pro plan is for you. So I say it's between these two. If you're on the basic one, it's simply just going to run out and you're not going to be able to find anything you really want. So what we're going to do here is we go into the sourcing section. And when you come into the sourcing section, it's giving you loads of different things that you look through to be able to find opportunities out and about. So what we're going to do is we're going to click repossessed, because obviously we're looking for repossessed properties. And you can do the same thing again. So for example, I was looking in London. I used to live in London. If you want to search my postcode, be my guest. Anyone can find anyone online if you really wanted to. So if you go on here, you can find now it's come up with all of the properties within 50-mile radius that have those repossession. We've already looked at that one already. This time around, what it's going to be doing is it's going to be bringing them from all of the portals. So you've got from Rightmove, you'll have some come up from Zoopla, you'll have some come up from on the market, and it's automatically worked it all out for you. And what you can see is when it opens all of these, you'll see, look, as we come down here, so this one's saying it's got a long lease, and we should have, here we go, they're now in receipt of an offer. So you can see it's worked out automatically that that property is a repossession property. And you can see again in the photo, it's got all those that sticky tape, everything else going on. The other bit is when you've got property data, you'll end up having this little thing come up on the right-hand side. So you can see, look, for example, they've got this at 365,000 that they've agreed to pay for it. 320, it probably actually stacks up and looks about right for what it's worth. But you can see, look, they're now paying £305,000. So they're getting out probably about £60,000 below the market value, which means they're saying, you know, that's roughly 20% of the market value they're saving by buying a repossessed property. Again, you can see here on this time, actually, it's just flagged up all properties on Rightmove, which we wouldn't have been able to find usually. And here again, it's coming up with they've received a public offer for £335,000. And again, you can then click in here and you can see what other properties are worth in that area to get a good idea for whether that's a deal. Again, here you go, Leonardo Street. Looks like a beautiful property. Imagine that's right in the center of the city. And then as we come down, again, they say, this is the property, this is the offer they've received. And then you can see, well, that's on for 565, that's what we've got agreed. And again, you can have a look and see, you know, there you go, you might be about 100 grand below what they are worth in the area. So it makes it a really easy way to be able to jump in, quickly look through a long list of repossessed properties and go through that way. So as I said before, you've got two ways. You've got the long way, you've got the Zoopla. That's obviously free. I've given you a list of those kind of searches you can use to find them. Or the easy way, PropertyData. Personally, I use that. So if you would like to jump on to using PropertyData yourself to be able to find deals like this really quickly, simply and easily, then head over to my link on the screen now. I'll also drop that in the description below, so you can just head over there. If you use my discount, you can get 50% off your first month, which means you end up getting 14 days free, plus your 50% off, which is roughly about a month free. So if you've got any comments or any questions or anything about this, let me know below. Hopefully you liked this video, and if I can be of any help with anything else, drop me a line. Cheers, have a great day.